Hey friends, welcome to another episode of the 10 Laws Podcast with East Forest. I'm Mr. Forrest. I have a pretty special episode because I was able to get Courtland Johnson, Vernon Courtland Johnson, otherwise known as VCJ, onto the pod. This is his second time. I've secured him on this. I think it's his second Zoom in his life. So as you can imagine, this is special, and it takes extra work to try to corral Court, because Court is in the ethereal realms. You might know him as the voice of 10 Laws. He's in other songs like Choose Good. He's a big influence in my life. He's one of my primary teachers and friends, and our crossings go back probably close to 20 years now, a little less than that. And so he's someone that I like to drop in with. You might find his musings to be confusing at times. You have to kind of relax into it, and I could give you a little bit of background that might give you some context. So Court, he gets into a trance state. He's sort of always in it, but he heightens this state with tobacco and muscle testing and cowboy coffee, and he puts all these together, and he's able to sense and see both visually in his mind's eye and in the room, anything from ghosts to your past lives together, to the energies and information from what he calls the Akashic realms and beyond. And he has this sort of 100-room psychology that he works with. So you'll hear him say, like, give me 2 numbers, or such and such will come forth by the next 2 numbers. And he's looking for me to pull those out of just spontaneity, like from the recesses of our mind that are more unconscious than just what we're thinking about. He'll do the same with numbers, and he's looking for 2 numbers between, single-digit numbers, 2 single-digit numbers. And each of those numbers represent rooms in this kind of this hierarchy of psychology that he has, and they each have different identifying energies, anything from resolution to spiritual to sexuality to mental to mastery, and then you'll see. And at times he'll have images or reveries that come to him of past lives, and he'll start to explain that. And then beyond all of this, you've just got Court's musings, and he just says with everything, hey, this is all metaphor. I don't expect you to believe anything. Amazingly, he comes off as a court jester, and his name is Court. So it's just, the whole thing is just perfect. I love it. I love giving space for him to do his thing and listening, and I feel honored that we could bring him on the show. And so here he is just for you. I'm probably going to break this up into 2 episodes. So we'll have a part 1 and a part 2, and we'll just roll into part 2 when you get to that release. And thank you so much for listening, and thank you to everyone on our Patreon. Just briefly, if you want to support the podcast, check out patreon.com/eastforest, or just to support the East Forest Project in general. That's a great place to do that. Patreon.com/eastforest, and thank you to everyone who's over there who's listening to the demos I share, or joining in on our monthly Zoom council and all that jazz. I'm heading out on the road, so that's one of the reasons I'm getting these out in advance, because we're going to Iceland for June 14th, and we're going to be at the Beyond the Pale Festival the weekend of June 16th, and then over at the there's a conference, the MAPS Psychedelic Conference in Denver, and on the solstice, June 21st, I'm playing a ceremony concert, God willing, in Denver, Colorado. That's on June 21st, and then in Los Angeles, we'll be heading over there for June 25th for a Sunday night evening ceremony concert in this beautiful church in Pasadena, California, Los Angeles. All of that is on eastforest.org. We're still aiming for some August dates as of now, in London on August 13th and Poland the weekend of August 3rd. So check it out. Going also to the Ram Dass Legacy Retreat at the end of August. So more to come there, and always doing our best to piece these things together. But for now, let's sink into the reverie space, the power of softness, the transcendent zoom with the fat pink dragon, otherwise known as VCJ Court Johnson. Last night I had a very powerful, intense, disturbing dream where I was a ghost.
Where you were a ghost?
Yeah, and I woke up in tears, in the middle of the night, because everyone was ignoring me as a ghost. They're like, "You need to get away. You're a ghost. Go away." And
Mm-hmm.
I was having trouble accepting that I was a ghost. And it's unsettling. It made me have compassion for ghosts, having a dream about
Oh.
being a ghost,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm always getting ghosts away.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, but what if they're just lost? So
Beautiful
well,
thought.
yeah.
I was wondering about a theme today, and I can already see two. One is what haunts us, all the many things that haunt us, and the second thing is what sense is it that is active in and is deducing that that specter of doubt, or a ghost perhaps, or a bad breakfast, some neurological condition, all the things that haunt us. And to begin with, I could say I'm haunted by a sense of failure, and the ghosts of failures past. And for some reason that I've held on to, a sense of failure means that it haunts me now. How do I deal with it? Where does it come from? I'll ask myself. Well, give me two numbers, I ask myself. 4, 2. Heartache. 4 is the emotional center. 2 is heartbreak, divided, split, broken. My heart is broken by the next word, love. How have I failed love? Is love a noun or a verb? How am I failing love with you here in the now? By not being prepared? I have many, many moments in the past that I'm haunted of. Moments of having not been prepared. And for having, when I could have grabbed the golden ring. What is the golden ring? It's the experience of transcendence, for me, transcendence of all the mortal dread that haunts us, all the responsibilities and needs that go unattended. In this moment of power with you, I would ask you for two numbers, the essence of the ghost, as characterized by two single numbers.
2 and 7.
2 is the hips or the sexual center. 7 is public. It implies being sexy in public, the hips in public, like the dance floor or an orgy, or, swimming a hot bath with others, such as that. At level 2-7, in room 2-7, there are two choices for you in terms of that which haunts you.
Overwhelm and transcendence. Which
would you choose? To be overwhelmed or transcend? I love looking at you right now. It brings me transcendence over my sense of being overwhelmed by all my needs and responsibilities, and failing to enjoy moments like this with you every day. I'm haunted by the ghost of pure failing my love of you, let's say, if we'll keep it right here in the moment. the dream of the ghost, of course, I wouldn't interpret because only you can in terms of the next word.
Spirit?
Mm-hmm.
Spiritual. Spirit.
Yeah. What is spirit? Well, that's a vague term.
It is.
The force. May the spirit be with you. May the force be with you. May the soul be with you. May you be with the Tao. May the Tao be with you. May God be with you. I'm still wondering if your dream was about, say, a ghost, because I do dream of people. And I wake up in the morning and wonder at its meaning, and often come to realize, well, I've encountered a soul in the dream time, and the result is that they followed me home out of the dream time into my space and into my mental space. Now, who is this ghost that haunts you? Does anyone come to mind?
It's confusing because in the dream I was the ghost, but
Indeed.
yeah, I mean, it was about loss and like not being able to wake up to my own dream to realize, wait a minute, I'm a ghost, and I'm, there's a pull to go into somewhere else out of this. I was in this world, but I was confused. I'm like, why is everyone ignoring me? Why am I losing things? Why can't I eat? And I'm like, oh, I'm a ghost. I must have died. And I don't know what to do.
Some aspect of self has died.
Yes.
And
yes.
I've experienced that of recent and have been deep in wonder about what would happen if my ego were to die.
There you go.
The soul can't die, but the ego is the false personality, let's say. It's okay. It's fine to have an ego and a false personality. I mean, you can have a really healthy ego. But if indeed it's a lot to maintain as a structure of personality with which to impress others and achieve a sense of belonging, then what if my ego dies? And I simply live the rest of my life in essence as a soul. Will I be acceptable if I live honestly, lovingly, truthfully, naked in essence? Will it shock others? Because I know through my research that when you function from essence, it can shock others and even cause them to think that they're seeing God. We're used to seeing false personalities. How's my false personality looking today? I've got a little John Wayne, James Dean. I could do Blue Steel for you. Hard pressed to do Magnum at the moment, but it's hard work to maintain something, especially right now as I look and see an old guy with a rubber face smoking and spewing at the same time. Pardon me, but this shall too pass. In this moment of power with you, where there in the now, we might realize something that in common about sense of failure, a sense of death. What if my ego were to die? People rely on it. You rely on my personality, don't you? And my special effects.
Especially the special effects.
It took me 2 hours to do my hair and my makeup today and to get the lighting right here in the room.
Yeah, me too.
There are 2 words in room 27.
Triumphant and oversoul.
To me, that's a very beautiful meaning. In terms of your place on the dance floor, are you feeling the presence of triumph or oversoul?
Oversoul.
Would you rather? Oversoul?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When you pray, the oversoul hears you and grants you something. God is really busy, too busy to hear your prayers or keep track of all the traffic, online traffic. But your oversoul hears you, and you're talking to someone who can hear you and throw the ball back and forth towards triumph. We're going to get this ball through the hoop, okay? And I couldn't do it without you in the now like this.
Okay.
Yes. Oversoul. You are a member of the oversoul. You're a fragment of an oversoul, an individual soul. And your triumph in this life is to, like me, overcome self-consciousness. As, I'm a funny-looking old guy, a real spotty character in the right light. I can see a whole lot of spots on my person that are symbols of imperfections. How can I overcome this? Because it triggers my ego to look at myself in the mirror and say, am I credible? Am I credible? I choose triumph. I choose triumph. My oversoul is determined that I reside in the physical until further notice. And as a human, I have manifested. And the triumph I would feel would be, first of all, to achieve essence and to share with you in essence would be a triumph over all my years of banking on special effects and identifying myself as an artist and a musician and a raconteur or a playboy or whatever, all that stuff. Can't bank on anymore. I want to be soul to soul with you, such that we experience triumph together.
Thank you.
As God is my witness, I give myself to you completely with a sacred oath already taken long ago. I will never speak untruth to you or print untruth about you, expect you to believe me, come on to you in any way, shape, or form, or expect you to believe me. So help me God. I will always be here to consider your true needs. Your true need in the moment is the next word.
Special?
You are very special to me. In the now, which is all that exists, you are. This is what is making my now feel like triumph. You're special. You're special. And as a soul, you experience triumph in your time with Krishna. On 38 days together, you experienced going far and achieving a triumph of circumnavigation of the globe. You're a craftsman on his team, and you circumnavigated the northern hemisphere together. And for 3 months, at the end of it, see, you moved towards the sun and circumnavigated the globe. In the last 3 months, you managed to get across the Pacific, or pardon me, no, where are we? You managed to get back to where you crossed the Pacific going east. You crossed Asia and you got home. and you experience triumph together and extreme fatigue and a sense of what have we accomplished? But there was a triumph in being the first humans to circumnavigate the globe like that in 3000 BC. Long forgotten now. You and Krishna were special to each other. There were 16 guys, and they were all craftsmen, specialists, and they moved together around the globe. This has haunted me. This is a ghost of a past life experience of mine. Yeah, what a challenge, a supreme challenge. Because those in the north who circumnavigated, probably first the Asians who went around the pole in their migrations, you know. But Krishna had a bright idea to do this, and he took 16 guys, all of whom were specialists, some with metal, wood, leather, cloth, and they could make magic everywhere they went with the elements available. Supreme challenge and quite the effort, but resulting in triumph, now long forgotten. Who were you to Krishna? Well, you were a tall guy, dark hair, nice beard, really handsome. Really handsome, 6'4", really capable with boat building and sales too. What it takes to make a good sail. Do you use leather or do you have to weave cloth? Well, let's weave together, and we get a bunch of guys spinning the stuff, and we'll build a loom, and we'll make a sail wherever we go. We'll conjure. Incredible ordeal of its time, resulting in triumph. And I wish I could bring that moment back to us, that we might experience that moment in this time. And so be it. In this moment with you, I am wondering about a center of interest. It has been the choice between triumph and the other. In this moment, two numbers will reveal a vital interest common to us both.
One, 3, 3, 9, 1.
Yeah, 1 is physical, 3 is healthy. Are you enjoying physical health?
Yes. Yeah.
Have you been afflicted by anything physically?
Yeah.
What would that be?
Anything as small as pain in my hand, it's sort of a modern affliction of carpal tunnel, to
which hand?
The right hand.
Yes. So that has to do with gain.
Yeah.
Gain, reaching out and drawing to us what we need. What you would most like to gain is the next word.
Freedom.
Oh, God. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. Oh, man. You pulled that right out of the air.
Yeah, and yet I grasp for a prison, and that's, I think, my dream.
Oh, God. This is so beautiful. Are you telepathic or what?
Just manifesting essence with you.
Mm-hmm. Inhibited perhaps by something, a doubt, a sense of limitation. How did you find me in this life? I mean, it's I know who I am and who you are, and I remember you from past times, but it's just, apparently we are free to find each other thousands of years later. There must have been something imperative in you in this life, a karmic imperative, to find certain souls. And you found me, and I can't say who I am, but perhaps in essence I may convey something to you that that will help you realize your triumph of in this life of finding certain souls, say your mother, your girlfriend, and me. That it was an imperative for the soul to find these other souls, and you have. So how do you go? Yes, like this. If you bring the fist down to the side, you go, yes. Instead of the perpetual doubt, because no matter how well you do, you won't be satisfied and feel triumphant until you accomplish freedom, right? In what way are you not free?
I am trapped in a hamster wheel of desire and goals. The very thing that I strive for is what causes me pain.
What a paradox, man.
Yes.
How beautiful. How beautiful. You saved up for years for a trip to Bali. You got the plane and everything, but you missed the plane. Only to realize in the news the next day that the plane crashed. How do you feel? You missed a chance, an opportunity in this life. Name it with the next word.
It's peace.
Mm-hmm. How do you spell that? And who was she? That's funny. Peace. You could have experienced peace, but you missed the bus. Or did you?
Right. And then you realize you never wanted to go to Bali. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And that you were looking to achieve a location within within yourself that is blissful. Let's go to that place in the self that is blissful. And it would be love of self. The now, the here, and the love of self. Because, I don't know, it might be universal for the soul to be aching to achieve something, the impossible. That the biggest triumph in life would be to achieve essence. But achieving essence might be experienced as painful. The result of which is that you might experience rejection or obsession with you. Is anybody obsessing on you?
I mean, I don't know.
Besides yourself.
Yeah, right. No one as much as me. Sure, yeah. I think that energy comes up, in small ways. It's all displaced, right? It's all projection or...
Yeah, we are projectors of our expectations.
Exactly, yeah. The reality is far less romantic, but...
The alternative to joy and self-love is excitement. We've gotten used to excitement because of all the information we've heard about being human. And knowing that we're human, we feel guilty by association. How can I be free if I'm identified with being human? And all the terrible things I've heard about being human. I'm a member of the most invasive and dangerous species on Earth. How can I can't free myself of that. It's what I am. I could have been a contender, but I'm just a bum, which is what I am. I'm so happy being a bum with you in this moment. I could forget all my mortal concerns. I feel I feel the love coming out of your eyes, and I wonder at why you would love a loser like me. I can't love myself because word, come on, word. Troubadour. I'm really a troubadour, and I'm just I'm just spewing smoke and a series of words, and words are cheap, right? Compared to the direct transmission of love, which is what you're doing right now. You're doing something to me right now. You're energetic. I can even feel your energetic body, which is not associated with your physical body. Your energetic body is mobile. And as mine is, we may be sitting in the same space. And how can we discern the triumph of achieving this same space? Except that there's no distance between souls. You know, when you think of me, I feel it. When you talk to me, I feel it. Your energetic presence. You have named a theme, desire for freedom. That's a beautiful theme. But we chose to incarnate, and incarnation is a prison. Also a campus, of course. The soul is independent of the body, but the physical body is like a snail that must stay in its shell. It's a cage, but a campus. You left your home in Utah, and now you're in where?
Boise, Idaho.
You're in Boise, Idaho. And did you leave something in Utah?
Yes.
A ghost of a sort.
Yes.
An aspect of self.
Yeah, a season of life. A place, relationships more than anything.
The psychological condition associated with the place. Yes. Yes. Well, let's see. How can you best relocate, pay respects to that sojourn in Utah, and say goodbye to something about the self to achieve freedom so that you don't continue to be haunted by a beautiful pastime, a beautiful time in the past. Here and now, here and now. Let go of it with the next word.
Fantasy.
Yes.
Finality.
What is memory? What is fantasy? What is memory? What is daydreaming? What is
delusion? Yeah.
Delusion.
Yeah.
Where are you really? You're in a dimension. Are you in a different dimension because of the physical space, or are you in a different dimension because of a belief, a delusion? Where are you really? And what does it look like? You are in a place that shares on a daily basis now with one in female form. How you feel about occupying the space with a female counterpart is, of course, of interest. I enjoy a lot of alone time. But when my wife's around, I can be both delighted and irritated at times and wish that she'd be gone. How curious that is. In having chosen to align myself with one in female form, I've engaged engaged a daily relationship with that which is partially of the female dynamic, though she's not that identified any more than I am. We don't have sex. We don't stir up the primal. We don't argue. We simply experience essence together. And love. Love can be anxious, fearful. I can know of love, but experience other than pure love. But if I were to achieve essence and experience grace on a continuous basis, it might get me thrown out. Unless I get a makeover. Let's get makeovers together. You know, I was trying to get the lighting right before I Zoomed with you, and I thought, well, maybe I could find some of my wife's powder or something to eliminate some of the flaws.
There's a button for that, actually. I'm not kidding.
There is.
Yeah.
It's a filter.
Yeah, it's in the preferences. You say,
indeed.
You hit it, and you can. There's a little slider.
I'm not going to pull that on you right now. You can accept me with all my imperfections and a little smoke up your ass here. Hold on. Here it is. I came prepared.
You always do.
My desire for freedom. Mm-hmm. Freedom to or freedom from? Freedom from doubt, freedom to manifest. I choose freedom to. Flaws and all. I have grief about it, fear of failing you, fear of joy and joy, because I don't want to lay my trip on you and be a bummer, a disappointment. I want to experience triumph together with you because of what haunts us. What we have in common is being haunted by, say, doubt. I doubt that I should fully manifest because I know in truth that as I achieve freedom from all my mortal dread and doubts, that I shock others. My energy body expands as a result. I stop shrinking in public and I expand in public. Energy alone can cause some real disturbance in others that they do not speak of. When I'm with you, I know what I feel and I can be honest and lucid about it. I have grief at being with you right now. Fear of failing you, fear of the unknown, fear of lost control, fear of joy and joy. Why do I have fear of joy? And what joy am I holding down? Joy of essence. Looking at you right now, I see you sitting in a room as a human being in human form, and I'm experiencing pure delight. My fear of joy is that we might shock each other in recognition of our triumph in this life. Wow, we really found each other? Part of me wants to run away so that you won't recognize me as the scoundrel I've been in past lives and the scoundrel I have to be in this life. Is my camouflage working? I get identified with all these small things that aren't me. And I go and I look in the mirror and I don't see anything but the guy with the rubber face. Really, you're not me. And my ego says, yeah, well, I've been trying really hard to help you. I say, okay, what are you getting paid? And who hired you?
Who's the boss?
Well, you hired me to interface with the public. And I'm doing my best. And I say, well, do you need a vacation maybe? I can see that you're tired, I say to my ego. And my ego nods his head and says, yeah, maybe I'm tired. I say, why don't you take a vacation? Well, without me around, you might lose control, soil yourself, or, embarrass yourself, or hurt yourself. I'm your ego. You need me. I say, I'm not sure. With my eyes blurred, you have a page boy haircut. This is beautiful. Yeah, you look like you have a head of hair. I thought maybe you dialed in special effects because all of a sudden you were wearing a wig. That was good.
I wish. Story of my life.
That's so funny. I found myself wondering if I could find a really nice wig. Because I've been so proud of my hair in this life, and my ego has done so well, with the special effects and makeup and all that stuff that it's just so hard to keep up with. I just want to show up naked and take the heat. In essence, I am naked. But I incarnated, and I chose this form for some reason. I know how people were expecting me to look if I came back. My last life was long ago, but I have to laugh. In my last life, I was a good-looking guy. I was a good contractor, and I rode a horse, wore boots. I wore pants and a cowboy hat, and I had a nice horse for a while. And I would show up at the job site and dismount like a styling dude. Everybody, I heard stories about my last life, and I'm amused.
Well, that's where we're going to end it this week. Tune in next week for the further deep dives into the Akashic realms with our dear VC Johnson, the one and only, here on the 10 Laws podcast. Thank you, Court, so much for coming on. It's a trip. And just by listening, I think it's conjuring up something ethereal and unseen and tender within your earlobes and your brain. This song that you're listening to in the background is called Coda 10. That features Mr. Johnson. And I want to thank him again for always being willing to be recorded and be so playful and to be a teacher and a brother for all these years. Thank you to everyone again on our Patreon, patreon.com/EastForest. You guys keep walking your walk. Don't take any shit, but if you do it with grace.
10 fingers, 10 laws that I live by. Like a little song that keeps me on track. 10 fingers, 10 laws that I live by.